I do too, but we cannot. We need to work this week, so no flying away to somewhere warmer, even though you'd probably like to. Here's a live look over downtown Indianapolis this morning as we get you ready for the work week, 6 o'clock on your Monday, President's Day, by the way. So a lot of people we know get to enjoy the day off, the holiday off, but many of you do not.
Yes, or if you do, you just go a little bit later today.
Right.
You might still be going, kids, if you have school today. We've got those delays here this morning.
And now they're adding up even more. So now we're up to 53 districts that are supposed to meet today to make up for the school days, and they're starting 2 hours late, or in the case of Brown County, just closed altogether. This is a look at I-465 on the city's south side, and I'll tell you, it's just slick in some spots, and we want you to be careful out there. What happened was we had the snow, we had all these crews that worked so hard, some of them on 12-hour shifts to get stuff cleared for us, and some of that is refrozen. 8 degrees in Indy, 9 in Carmel, Fishers, and Noblesville, 9 also in Pendleton. Shelbyville has dropped 3 degrees, now 12 there. And if you look in Illinois where this west-northwest breeze is coming, blowing over the snow, that's one of the reasons it feels cold here. For instance, over in Peru, Illinois, it's 2, in Peoria, it's 4, and that west-northwesterly breeze now blowing into central Indiana. So that's the reason we have what we have. Now, fortunately, the snow is gone here, though we're giving you a big heads up. Evansville to south of Seymour to Louisville will be under a winter storm watch tomorrow, and that'll continue till 7 o'clock Wednesday night. Notice this series of winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories to our west, and this developing storm now moving into Kansas City, that will affect us Tuesday night and then into Wednesday. So later on today, we're going to top out at 20 degrees. That's the bad news. We'll see some sunshine, but that's 21 degrees below average, and that's our high later on today. All right, let's take a look at traffic this morning. And again, as we've been mentioning, some of these side roads are not in real good shape. This is an element of our traffic map that shows you where there is still snow on roads. And you can see it's throughout much of the entire metro area. You'll see some roads, for instance, the interstate system, really good shape, and others maybe not so much. This is I-69 backing up just a little bit to the west of 37 and to the east of that I-69 corridor. You'll notice then it gets out by Thompson Road at about 45 miles per hour. That's that area, 465 and I-69. See some of the passing lanes, even all of the lanes really still have some snow on them this morning. And we say good morning to Clinton County, you folks in Frankfort this morning. That is 421 State Road 28, looking real good in downtown Frankfort at the home of the hot dogs. And we'll have more weather and traffic, Julia, in minutes.
All right, Chuck, thank you. And we know crews are still out there plowing and treating the roads after that snow hit central Indiana yesterday.
But you just heard the temperatures that we're expecting today, so that could make travel a little tricky as Matthew Foltz has been following the road conditions around our area. I know you've been scouring the metro. Where have you made it to now?
So yeah, Julia and Julie, we've made it to the Butler-Targeton area where you can see, most side residential streets have not been plowed in this area. We're actually at the intersection of 43rd and Graceland. As you see at my feet, you can see this intersection, a sheet of ice underneath this snow, which is on top. As you see, I can scrape. That's just something you got to keep in mind as you, maybe head out to warm your car. Again, this street, Graceland, it looks like it's been plowed or mainly just been, driven over a lot, which has allowed that snow to kind of separate. But as you take a look, some of these, that was 43rd, excuse me. But as you see on Graceland, you see, this has kind of just been untouched. So just keep that in mind as you head out. But we have been checking the Indy snowplower viewer. We've seen several snowplow trucks out and about salting many of the main streets, such as Meridian, Illinois Street, and those main thoroughfares. So those are clear this morning, and those are fresh with salt to kind of help you if you do have to go out and about. But other than that, if you are waking up on some of these residential streets, remember that's not going to be touched because the city just passed that ordinance saying that these residential side streets will not be cleared unless there's at least 4 inches of snow. And as you can see, we're nowhere close to 4 inches of snow on these roadways. So Jalea and Julia, we're going to get warm and continue to check the area and keep you posted throughout the morning.
Yeah, and we saw so many crashes and slide-offs over the weekend, so it's good news or good information that you're sharing with viewers this morning, Matthew. Thank you.
Well, police say a fight inside of a bathroom at a Sikh temple led to gunfire, and now IMPD is looking for the shooter.
This happened at this temple here near Southeastern Avenue and Acton Road. The victim is now recovering. Metro Police say the two people involved knew each other, and the president of this temple tells 13 News the two young men were fighting in a bathroom when the shooting happened, and no weapons are allowed in the temple. So he says now they're putting up signs to remind people not to bring weapons.
Well, right now, a teenager is recovering after being shot during a party.
Yeah, police tell us that this party was happening on the east side of Indianapolis. That's where they were called to a home on Meadowlark Drive near 38th in Arlington around 2:30 Saturday morning. They found that teenager who was shot, and investigators learned the suspect was still nearby.
There was some kind of sleepover party going on here, and two individuals got in an argument, and then unfortunately shots fired rang out.
We know the suspect is in custody. The teen who was injured was taken to the hospital, and they are expected to recover. Well, the man convicted of murdering Abby Williams and Libby German is now in a different state prison.
Online records show Richard Allen recently was moved to the Pendleton Correctional Facility. He was in the Westville Control Unit, and that is where his defense team was concerned about his well-being before the trial. It's been 8 years now since the girls died.
And coming up this Friday, Dateline is taking an in-depth look at the case. You'll hear from many of the people closest to the events in Delphi. You can watch this Friday night starting at 9 o'clock right here on Channel 13.
6:07, an investigation is underway this morning after a man was arrested in Clinton County and he died in the hospital. Police arrested Michael Hanthorn after a report in Frankfort that a man was banging on doors. The jail asked for a medical clearance first, so he was taken to IU Frankfort. That's where police say Hanthorn experienced some sort of medical emergency and died about 2 hours later. We'll keep you posted on what the investigation turns up.
Police in Speedway say a juvenile led officers on a chase yesterday afternoon and then tried to avoid arrest by running into a pond. This started when police spotted a stolen car, they say, on Lyndhurst Drive near Crawfordsville Road. About 2.5 miles later, police say the chase ended on Riverwalk Drive. And that's when police say the juvenile behind the wheel bailed out of the car and started running into a pond to get away. IMPD officers found that suspect eventually in a nearby neighborhood, and they were taken into custody. Well, this morning, Monroe and Lawrence County firefighters are mourning one of their own after a deadly crash.
Leroy Terrell's truck apparently went off the road near State Road 446 and Dutch Ridge Road Saturday morning. Investigators believe slick road conditions played a role. Terrell served on several departments in Monroe and Lawrence counties.
Well, Pleasant Run firefighters did share this picture with us, saying that they lost a brother, a mentor, a friend, and a dedicated public servant. At 6:08, an IMPD officer nearly killed in the line of duty was honored over the weekend at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Jason Fishburne was ambushed and shot back in 2008 by a murder suspect, and he is here to tell his story thanks in part to a trauma kit. So Saturday at PBR Indianapolis, the Professional Bull Riders event, they took a moment to recognize his sacrifice, honoring his mission to distribute thousands of the same trauma kits that saved his life to other police agencies across Indiana. A well-deserved standing ovation that the crowd shared with him there, even some of them calling him a true hero. So we are glad that he's here to tell his story. Yeah.
Well, today, as you probably know, is President's Day, and that means many schools and offices will be closed, of course, unless they're disrupted a little bit because of the weather this morning. But there are some ways to celebrate the holiday if you do want to get out in these cold temperatures. So you can get free admission at the Indiana State Museum and historic sites nationwide. The museum is usually closed on Mondays, but will welcome visitors from 10 to 5. You can also visit the Benjamin Harrison Presidential site and see how the Harrisons lived back in 1891.
Happening today, advocates with the American Heart Association will be at the State House meeting with lawmakers, and one of their top priorities this session is passing cardiac emergency response plans for schools. These make sure that each school has a plan and the resources such as AEDs when emergencies happen. We've talked about this before on 13 Sunrise, as our Investigates team has also been tracking this bill very closely. Another top priority for the group is creating a stroke registry. That would help keep track of this kind of data across the state. So the AHA will also be offering free training to make sure people know what a stroke might look like and feel like. 6:10, good morning, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, Jalea. Folks, it's cool up here. We have a frigid week ahead. To our west this morning, a cold weather advisory. And to our south, from Evansville to Louisville and south of Seymour, for tomorrow, a winter storm watch. Dry right now, snow on the way. We'll let you know the timeline coming up.